Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sami Farooq, and I would be hosting the Model Country Water Conference based on the theme of water supply in Karachi, the need of paradigm shift for the future. We have a great panel with us today that have invested their valuable time to devise 5 call to actions that can develop the way forward for the megacity of Pakistan, aiming to develop an understanding of water governance, access, efficiency, and equity. Our panelists today include Engineer Junaid Jabbar, who's working as a designated assistant director in PCRWR. His areas of specialization include water management and hydrology and water quality monitoring. His past experience include projects with PepsiCo, WaterAid Pakistan, and he's currently an active participant of flood relief campaign with UNICEF. It's an honor to have you, sir. Our second panelist is Dr. Syed Ariba, who is an academic specialist in hydrologic and water resource modeling, as well as climate change. Her publications include research paper focusing on the assessment of floods and hazard analysis for the city of Karachi. She is also a Fulbright scholar and a fresh addition to the water experts in NED. Thank you for being here with us today, ma'am. Malia Abba Zaidi, who is a founder of National Dialogue of Climate Change as well as the CEO of EcoSol. She graduated from NED as a civil engineer, and since then her phenomenal milestones in the domain of climate change that have led the way for youth are incredible. She is also a former producer of news, Bull TV, and has shed light on water awareness through a revolutionary approach. I was extremely grateful to have you here today with us, ma'am. Last but not the least, engineer Asad Sheikh, who will be joining us soon, who works as a wet utilities engineer at AI Engineers and is a youth ambassador for Waymaker United. He's also worked as a research assistant in urban and infrastructure department and specialization in applications of remote sensing in GIS and hydrology. Sir Asad, thank you for taking time for us today. Leading our panel talk today, I would like to initiate by asking Sir Junaid Jabbar about the management of water supply in Karachi, the quality as well as the quantity, and what reforms are needed to fulfill the gaps that have caused a chaotic water system for the citizens of Karachi, and what is the imperative of government that is the immediate requirement. Sir, I will be passing on to you to answer the question, and then we'll be moving on.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
So can I start now? So, Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Junaid Jabbar and I am working as Assistant Director in PCRWR, which stand for Pakistan Council of Research in Water Resources. Today I will be talking about the issues of Karachi, which is related to its quality and as well as the quantity of water being supplied to the people of Karachi. So, PCRWR is also working as a consultant with Planning Commission to solve and to give the consultant solutions to the Karachi Water Supply and Sewerage Board. So I would start with the water supply in Karachi status. First of all, I would like to tell that Karachi receives around 650 mgd of water, which is 550 mgd from Kinjar Lake and 100 mgd from Hub Dam. The water is then it will go to the filtration pump houses. There are basically 6 filtration pump houses in Karachi, and the total capacity is 435 mgd. So from 650 mgd of water which is being supplied to the people of Karachi, which basically KW and SP is claiming, out of that only 435 mgd is being filtered, while the 215 mgd of water is not filtered. It is basically the raw water which is not filtered. I would like to give you about the current water supply position of Karachi. That from the Kinjar Lake, the water goes to the Habeji pump house, and then it goes to the areas of Shah Faisal Colony, Landi, Korangi areas, DHA and HSR areas. From the hub system, the water goes to the areas of northern side of Karachi. There are many water challenges of Karachi, which I would be talking about. Number one, the first challenge which Karachi is facing is the shortfall of the water, which is around 750 to 950 mgd. It means that the demand of water which Karachi needs is around 1400 to 1600 mgd of water, but currently the KW and SP is supplying 650 mgd of water. So there is a shortfall of 750 to 950 mgd of water. The second challenge is the rapid population growth, imbalance of demand and supply, the intermittent water supply, the illegal water connection of pipes. The other issue is installation of unauthorized suction pumps on water supply lines. Sorry for the disconnection. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir, Junaid Jabari, you're audible. Please continue.
So there are many challenges I was talking about. The other challenges is there is substandard construction of water storage tanks and sewage system. There is unhygienic situation at the premises of water supply, pumping station of KW and SSB. There are the other issue is that there is parallel water supply and sewage lines along with dumping of solid waste as well. The other issue the other issue is that there is poor condition of water supplied for drinking, in which there is a mixing of sewage water with supply water and pumping station. There is also a lack of third-party water quality surveillance system in Karachi, and there is also another issue which is illegal water connections of tanker and pipe mafias. After that, the other issue is that there is leakages in water supply main pipes, which results in infiltration of contamination of groundwater during non-supply hours. There is inadequate water filtration due to the dysfunctional alum mixing chambers filtration beds, such as the example is COD Hills filtration plant. There is inadequate alum dosing, and there is also insufficient chlorination for long distance supplies as well. Then there are the issues which are related to the sewage system, such as the untreated wastewater effluents is disposed directly into the Arabian Sea, Karachi. There is seawater pollution in Fish Harbor, which is causing a great threat to marine life. The wastewater disposable in sea through Lyari Nadi and through Malir Nadi does not get treated at all. There is also a deteriorating water quality of Kinjar Lake due to the constant discharge of untreated industrial effluent in KB feeder, which is located at site Kotadi area. And there is indiscriminate disposal of raw sewage and inadequate defective system in the city of Karachi. So overall, from the 650 mgd out of the water which is being supplied to the Karachi, there is also 450 mgd sewage system which is generated in Karachi, in which there is zero sewage treatment being done by KW and SP. There is no such treatment which are done by KW and SP. However, they are planning to maintain or manage their water treatment plants which are already in Karachi. PCRWR also is conducting water quality status of Karachi, in which PCRWR takes samples of Karachi, and from which we can say that in 2002 there was only 23% waters were safe, and in 2020 only 7% water is safe, which I am talking about the drinking water. So you can see that from 2002 to 2020 there is no such improvement in drinking water quality. So there are many other issues, and KW and SB is also claimed to install the desalination plants in which they will filter the water from the Arabian Sea and they will try to provide some amount of water to the people of Karachi through desalination plant. However, this project is not constructed and completed yet. Now coming towards the wastewater treatment system in Karachi, basically there are three plants of wastewater treatment in Karachi, namely STP1, which is in Harunabad, STP2, which is in Mahmoodabad, and STP3, which is in Maripur. And these three treatment plants are currently shut it down because due to the non-availability of fund, and there are many other issues. And currently there is no sewerage system of water in Karachi is being fitted. So after that, the required actions are that there needs to be the optimization of water supply and distribution network productively and efficiently. There needs to be the rehabilitation of existing water supply system. There needs to be the extension of water distribution network in Karachi, because there are some areas in Karachi which is not getting the water. There should be the rehabilitation of existing water treatment works to attain the optimum design capacity. There should be installation and operation of auto chlorinators at all filtration plants. Secondary chlorination may be initiated at pumping stations, and there should be control on water theft, illegal connection, and hydrants, so that people of Karachi can get the required amount of water which KW and SP is giving them. The required actions are continuing to the required actions. There should be the separation of sewerage drains and stormwater drains. There should be the establishment of public-private partnership to set up wastewater treatment plant and sell the treated water to the industries, rather than consuming the water which is not treated. Their PCRWR is also giving its consultants consultancy on rainwater harvesting and constructions of the rainwater systems as well in Karachi, which can generate up to 2 mgd of water storage. So PCRWR can support as in some points there is like where water and wastewater assessment of the whole of the Karachi can be done by PCRWR. PCRWR can support as a third party, and it can it can do monthly water quality of supply system of Karachi. PCRWR can build the capacity of the water supply agencies, and it can build the capacity of the people that are working in water testing laboratories of the KW and SP. The PCRWR can assist in installation of more drinking water filtration plants, and it can assist in groundwater monitoring of Karachi city as well. And currently now PCRWR is working on rainwater harvesting plan of Karachi city. So thank you from my side.
Thank you very much, Sir Junaid. This was very insightful. And taking from what you said about the contamination as well as the actions that are to be taken, I would like to ask Ms. Ariba that since she has relevant understanding of such mechanisms, how would you develop an immediate navigation system that is the utmost requirement of the city right now, and that particularly focusing on to neutralize the imbalance of the water supply systems? And what are the challenges that are being faced by the academic experts to incorporate the newer technocentric approach in the water supply system of Karachi, or the research of Karachi at the least? Ms.
Thank you,
Ariba?
Sami. Thank you, Sami. First of all, I'd like to say that I really appreciate all the work that PCRWR has been doing in Karachi, outside Karachi, and nationally, because there's a lot of very helpful data that we have received in the past from PCRWR, and we've done a lot of good research on that. And along with that, all the recent projects that we've worked on, including the water quality projects for Kinjar Lake, we had our water samples tested through PCRWR, and we had a very good experience with the feedback that we got from them. From the perspective, I would agree with most of the issues that Engineer Junaid Jabbar has mentioned, that he has summarized the situation of Karachi, the situation of water supply, and the issue with water quality, basically, in the water supply of Karachi. How I think we can prepare a remediation plan at academic level is that we can employ our students that are interested in working in water resources to identify the hotspots in Karachi where there is the most loss during during the conveyance of water from the pumping station to different areas, because we are all aware of the fact that there's losses in the conveyance system, and a lot of drinking water is getting wasted. So we can deploy students as their final year project or as a part of their master's thesis to identify these hotspots. And I personally think that conveyance losses is one of the biggest factors in Karachi. Right now, if we can only control a few major areas where there's the most conveyance loss, we can recover a lot of fresh drinking water, and we can supply this water to a lot of other areas which are deprived of this necessity. One of the other things is doing similar, doing a similar analysis and trying to identify the hotspots where there's most contamination that is getting into, like Engineer Junaid mentioned, that a lot of sewage water is entering our water lines, our drinking water lines. And we've been talking about this for the longest time ever, but how much do we know is getting contaminated, like from the point where the water is being pumped to the city and the water that is coming out of our taps that we're using? What is the difference in the water quality? We need to identify that. And we also need to identify, once we identify that, we can highlight the hotspots, and we can work on repairing the water supply lines as well as the sewage lines in those places to minimize water contamination. One of the other things I think that is important is whatever water we are already receiving from Kinjar Lake or from Hub Dam, we can increase that water supply by constructing check dams or other smaller storage dams upstream of Karachi, the watershed that supplies water to Karachi naturally when there's rain. We can provide storage structures that can help with storing water for irrigation or for water supply temporarily for a couple of months, and they can also help recharge the groundwater. This could be, in fact, this requires a whole hydrological study where we can estimate how much water the watershed is generating and what are the best locations where these check dams can be installed. So it will help with flood control. It will help with providing clean water for drinking and irrigation, as well as recharging the groundwater. So I think on the top of my head, I would suggest these three major ways in which academics can take a part in trying to resolve the issues that Karachi has regarding water supply. As far as your question regarding the issues that academics might be facing, one of the biggest issue I would say is the lack of existing data, the lack of observed data. It's a national issue. It's everywhere. And a lot of times there are organizations that are collecting data, but they wouldn't share unless we pay them a hefty amount. And a lot of times academic institutions don't have that kind of money for research projects, especially when it's students that are involved. The second thing is there's not enough monitoring stations installed throughout the country or in Karachi or in Sindh that could be helpful in just telling us that how much water do we exactly have. We have whatever data we have is one of the most reliable source that we've had in the past is PCRWR, frankly, regarding the amount of water or the quality of water. And one of the other issues is that when it's just the lack of funding for students. And I personally think that students should be allowed to collect data and they should be facilitated and they should not be charged anything at all in the first place, because they're doing it out of their self-interest and their zeal. They're choosing their own projects and their own internships, and they want to go out and help everyone and learn in the process. So that's what I think. If you have any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Ariba. Knowing that a lot of undergraduate students are watching this at home, I think they would be appreciating the FYP insights that you have given them, as well as the data issues. So, of course, that is most certainly true. They would be appreciating that. Taking what you have in mind, especially taking into consideration the hotspots you mentioned, I would like to take it over to Ms. Maria, because she's very acquainted with Karachi, and bringing climate change into the conversation. Since Ms. Maria is a climate expert, Miss, how do you think that climate change has affected the water supply up till now? And how does the climate change threaten the future supply of water in Karachi? Moreover, what is the notion of the different socio-economic areas of Karachi, and what the way forward for them should be?
Okay, thank you, Sami, for giving me the opportunity. As it is said that water everywhere, and there is no water to drink. So same is the case for Karachi. There is water everywhere in summers, and there is no water to drink now for the Karachians. So as far as the climate change is concerned, climate change has a very negligible role when it comes to water crisis in Karachi, because the story is that the issue is relatively of demand and supply. Demand is higher and there is no supply. So as Junaid Jabbar mentioned, that there is a shortfall of 800 to 900 MGD for Karachi. So you can imagine that that actual issue for water crisis in Karachi is the shortfall of water, and that's basically demand and supply issue. Second thing which Ma'am Ariba mentioned, that yes, 40% water loss at during the water conveyance while traveling from Caichar and Bhabiji to the city, 40% of the water get lost. So at one instance we are not getting ample supply of water. At the other side, we are losing 40% of our water. So we are left with meager amount of water. So as far as water crisis is concerned, in Karachi, there are two major issues. One is supply and demand issue, and the second is that 40% of the water lost during its conveyance. Okay, and the third thing is, which the MD of Karachi Water and Sewage Board mentioned, that there is no geotagging of water consumers in Karachi. Like the consumers of K Electric, they get paid, they not get paid, they get billed by the K Electric, because all the consumers of K Electric, they are geotagged. But as far as Karachi Water and Sewage Board is concerned, the consumers of KWNSP, they are not geotagged. So they cannot build their consumers. So what's the point of running an organizations when they are not receiving any revenue from the consumers? So the department, they lack the motivation, and not only the motivation, they are not able to perform up to their optimum level. So third issue is like of geotagging and of consumers basically. And fourth important thing, which is causing the water supply issue, which is aggravating the water supply issue in Karachi, is water theft. We haven't discussed illegal hydrants so far, because they are in large numbers and they have never been talked about openly because of several other issues. So yes, illegal hydrants are a major concern, not only for Karachians, but for the organizations like Karachi Water and Sewage Board. And I've read recently that a man who was, monitoring illegal hydrants, he was shot dead. So the issue has reached to this, extreme level. people cannot talk openly about the illegal hydrants in Karachi. So yes, climate change has a role in aggravating the water crisis in Karachi, but there are so many other factors which need to be get fixed first before coming to the climate change.
Thank you, Ms. Malia. That was very insightful. Of course, knowing that climate change is not that much of an issue before everything else. So now we have Sir Sheikh Asad, who's working for the water supply systems and has been involved in different projects that are prevalent to different industries. He's currently working in AI engineers. And keeping from what Ms. Malia has said, Sir Asad Ari, I would like to ask you, how are the practices in the current industry inflicting damage upon the Karachi water system, and what practices should be shifted towards a sustainable approach so that the water supply system can be preserved in Karachi and it can be moved towards a better delivery system?
One of the things, am I audible, Sami?
Yes, Sir Asad, you are audible.
So obviously, I've been new to this industry, and I've been working for the past 2 years in different projects, in different water-related projects. One of the things that I've experienced is, first of all, that I wasn't aware of what the current situation of water is in Karachi. Where does it come from? Where does it go? Where are the main treatment plants, and so that is something that I want to highlight, that students who are getting engineering degrees and who are graduating from engineering colleges, they know nothing about Karachi's water supply system. And on the okay. So obviously, being unaware of your own city's water supply system, and then obviously going into that field, first thing is we need to understand what are the major problems that you are going to face as a water engineer. So one of the things that I faced early in my career is to know what kind of materials and what kind of new technologies that can be implemented, and the resistance of clients in using those services. Another thing that I want to highlight is the interdisciplinary approach is something that needs to be promoted. So, for example, if we are talking about a piping system, we need to also integrate its life cycle costs, and what are going to be its of the system impacts on other utilities and on other domains of any water supply system. So that is something that I feel that consultancies lack, and obviously we always go for short-term gains just to get done with our projects, and just to finish with it in a very short span of time, and just to spend money on them in a very quick span of time. So in the long term, obviously the leakages happen, and the other components of the system break down over the period of time, and then after 10 to 15 years we are again trying to install a new system. And that is something that I feel that the life cycle cost of the system that is neglected in our consultancies. And another thing that is the rigidity of clients and the people working in this field. They are very rigid towards new technologies, whether they are in pumping, whether they are in piping systems, to obviously to monitor and to improve its performance. They are very rigid towards obviously there is a cost factor, and they try to keep it as low as possible, but they often forget about how what would be the long-term impacts of that decision could be. So that is something that I feel consultancies lack. And as a young engineer, as who's obviously and as a Karachiite who's obviously very much interested in the water related problems, that is something that I need to that I think that we need to work on.
All right, thank you very much, Sir Asad. That was great. And learning about the industries of before, especially as a student learning, it's very important to learn about the industries that you're going to work for. One question that Mr. Riba mentioned about the data issue. Sir Junaid, how do you think that the data can be made more available for the students and for the researchers that are working on the field? Because data issue is in fact the most major problem for researchers, that becomes the biggest hurdle. So how do you think that an interactive window can be achieved for the researchers and for the students where data is more accessible for them?
Sami, your question is very much relevant. Also, being in PCRWR, we also face a lot of difficulties, in getting data. The data which we are getting is not reliable at most of the time. There is some kind of error, or there is a judgmental data which you can say, or there is an approximation data which we use. So in my opinion, for students or the people working in academia, we can provide the data in this way, such as the PCRWR is publishing the reports, and you can see the reports in the website of PCRWR as well. So we are basically making the reports of water quality of the whole Pakistan as well. PCRWR is conducting water quality analysis every 5 years, and you can also see the data of other projects related to water, such as rainwater harvesting, how rainwater harvesting is done, and how the potential of the storage of such as storing the rainwater. So is PCRWR is also maintaining reports in its website, so many researchers can access through it. However, we can make a database, or we can make an app through which we can provide the data by communicating with other people working, or other organization working in this sector as well. So by through this the communication of all the stakeholders and all the relevant departments, we can provide the data specifically of the water quality to the public consumer as well. Also, another thing which I need to mention to our viewers as well is that PCRWR also monitors the bottled water quality every 3 months in the Pakistan. So PCRWR also provides the people that specific water bottles are not safe to consume. So this data goes towards the PCQCA, which is for the standards the council. So they make the standards of the drinking water and all the relevant, and they also try to ensure that each company which is providing the water to the people or to the consumer is safe. So in such the ways we can provide the data to our consumers as well, to the researchers as well. So that's all.
Thank you, Sir Jawar. This was massively insightful. Ms. Malia, one of the things that Sir Asad mentioned was the rigidity of the clients and the senior hierarchy of the industry. So water awareness does not seem to be a major issue amongst the youth. Rather, it seems to be an issue amongst the leading expertise of the water industry. They are more reluctant to adapt newer technology in terms of technology. So what do you think the main hurdle is in terms of water awareness to adopt newer technologies in the field?
Sami, there is a lack of awareness, both among the youth and also among the relevant stakeholders, primarily institutions of Pakistan. They are reluctant because they are not willing to work in that particular department. So that's a lethargic approach on their part, and their reluctance to adopt new technologies and their reluctance to dig more into the R&D side. It's their lethargic approach. So as far as the youth side is concerned, yes, there is a lack of awareness among our youth, and which the bright side is that yes, our youth is taking interest in the climate change studies, and they are talking about climate change. So there's a silver lining that yes, in future, youth would be taking a leading role in dealing with the climate crisis.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Hariba, another question that we have had is that you are leading water resource management in NAD. So what do you think the more appropriate option is? Is the remedy of the existing structures a better option, or rather than that, creating more intensive infrastructure in the city for water supply is appropriate?
I think we all live in Karachi, and we know how intensely populated the city is. And usually when it comes to developing an urban area, all the planning is done ahead of time. The planning and the layout and the laying down of the infrastructure is done ahead of time. And it's usually forecasted, like the design is usually done by forecasting what the needs of the city would be for the next 100 years or something like that. However, there is still a lot of potential in improving the situation of water supply and contamination, the quantity of water and the quality of water, by making few changes to the current infrastructure. And at the same time, we also need to include new structures, store structures, or like Malia mentioned, the billing system, which will, I personally think that will make another major difference when people would be more accountable for what they're doing with the water. Just the fact that how, although I would like to mention one thing first, is that more than 90% of the water in Pakistan is going towards the agricultural usage, for irrigation usage. And there's a very small amount of water in Pakistan that is going to public use, to our everyday house use. However, despite that fact, we are misusing our water resources in our kitchens, in our washrooms, washing our cars, and wasting water when we are doing wudu. It's just crazy. And when we would be more accountable, all human beings, when they're more accountable for what they're using and how much they have to pay for it, or how much damage they have to sustain for whatever luxury they have, they just become better people. So I think improving the water metering system will also make a huge difference. So that, and there's a lot of new technology that can be used in the water metering system that can be included.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Hariba. One of the question now, I would be entertaining a question that we have gathered from our Facebook. In the comment section, one of the questions from Ms. Malia is, how important is the implementation of policies regarding usage of groundwater? Also address as to why we have no such policies in Pakistan.
Okay, Sami, as per our National Water Policy 2018, it was mentioned in that particular policy that groundwater authority needs to be established. So there's no groundwater authority in Pakistan, and it has not been established. It's been more than 70 years, and there has been no groundwater authority. So it was mentioned in National Water Policy 2018 that there's a need of groundwater authority. So we are waiting for it to be, functional.
All right, thank you. Another question that we have regarding the sewerage supply system. Sir, Junaid Jabbar, this question is from you. Can the newer technologies be implemented in the state of Karachi, in such a state, and whether they would be feasible for the amount of sewerage that is being collected in Karachi.
Sami, there are a lot of technologies involved in disposing the sewerage system into the sea, which is not polluting and which is not causing any kind of harm to the marine animals. However, in my opinion, as regarding the Karachi city, the amount of sewage is a lot of sewage. So now we can make a policy like that. It was also developed by KW and SV that all the sewage system from the industry, such as in Korangi areas, goes towards a specific sewerage treatment system, and then through this treatment it goes to the Arabian Sea. So through these kind of interventions, and first of all emphasizing on the management and to continue the sewage system, treatment in the sewage system which we have currently. I told you earlier that we have three sewage system: STP1, STP2, and STP3 in Karachi, and they are not functional. So rather on emphasizing and moving towards the newer technologies, first we should try to make these treatment systems functional. So if our existing wastewater treatment system is functional, we can go towards the newer technologies, and we can make a role our technologies as a role model to establish the new technologies. And through the consultants and through the consultations of the scholars working in the sewage system, we can establish a good policy and a good system that allows us to safely dispose our sewerage into the Arabian Sea. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sajinet. I would be concluding this session, but before that, uh, I would like to ask, what is the one top priority that would be used as an advice for the youth by each one of you? So starting on from Asad, what do you think? What should be the top priority of the youth that is exceeding in the water resources engineering?
I think one of the major things that a youth can do is to be aware about the usage of water and what can be done to at their level to at least save it. So that is something that I think that is in the hand of youth in general, not people related to this field, but that is something that being aware of what how to effectively manage water at a local scale, that is something that I think you should invest in.
Thank you very much, sir. Miss Ariba, turning over to you. What advice would you?
I'd say acquire knowledge. There's a lot of different ways that are easily accessible to us nowadays to acquire the right amount of knowledge, right kind of knowledge, and knowing the resources where that knowledge is coming from. Secondly, be humble and try to educate others. First of all, be humble to recognize the fact that you need to acquire knowledge as well, and you need to pass it on. As a student, that's the first thing, or as a professional too. Like that's what I would suggest.
Yes, as they say in Urdu, ilm baatne se badhta hai. So I think that is extremely true. Miss Malia, passing over the question to you.
Okay, I would like to advise my youth that instead of criticizing the system, try to become a part of the system, because we need informed and educated youth in the system. So instead of running away from the country, stay in the country and become part of the system.
That is true, and hopefully everyone takes it in a much insightful way and they understand what is the thought behind it. So, the passing over the question to you, Sir Junaid, what advice would you like to give?
I think I would like to give a message to youth that think water as a nemat. Don't think water as a free thing and you are wasting it. Think is as a resource which is very special to us, and Pakistan is very, very special, and it is very much you can say that all the kind of water resources and the water system and hydrogeological water system is one of the best system in Pakistan. So rather than creating more problems, we should focus on the addressing the problems which we have through innovative solutions or through the solutions which are nature based. So thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you very much, Sir Junaid Jabbar. Now I would be concluding the session since we have reached the end of our time. And I would like to thank our panelists once again to provide such substantial insights for the supply of Karachi. And moreover, when the conversation led on towards the guidance, they were extremely resourceful in providing guidance to the youth. And afterwards, what these advices and what these problems that have been stated with their solutions would be utilized to form 5 call to actions that would be utilized for the youth in the Model United Nations Country Water Conference. So thank you for your contributions and thank you for your efforts that are going to lead the way for the ambassadors throughout Pakistan. The discussion today once again proves how essential it is to revisit the water system of Karachi with a diverse approach to develop strategies for the future. I would also like to thank the audience that have been with us today for the engagement. And once again, personally, it has been an honor to host all of you. So I'm extremely grateful for that. Thank you very much. So now we would be ending the call. You guys can end the call as per your convenience. And thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sami.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
Sunny.
you.
Thank you, everyone.